Oh, shit.
Oh my goodness, he's getting.
Oh,
the body shot.
Oh,
Oh my goodness.
Dude, Topuria throwing some heat.
Max will not let you pin him against the cage.
And I like how he gets him hurt and goes to the body.
He's Spanish. What is he again?
Yeah, Georgian, but grew up in Spain.
With Georgian.
Oh, he dropped him with a left hook.
That's it.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, he's out.
That's it.
Oh my goodness.
He's
oh
a
my
bad
goodness.
motherfucker.
Oh,
He's a
my
bad
Georgian from Russia. Are you talking about Russia?
Yes.
That's the first.
Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria has just wrapped up as the main event on UFC 308. This was a great fight, the BMF versus the featherweight champion, and Max Holloway looked sharp from the beginning of this fight. He was alert, he wasn't getting hit as much as he usually does in fights, setting up traps with those kicks, and Ilia Topuria looking to counter him every time Max would exchange. But Max's volume seemed to be kind of overwhelming Ilia Topuria a little bit as the fight went on. In that second and third round, it was looking like Ilia Topuria was having a hard time connecting on Max, but finally in that third round, Ilia Topuria finds that right hand that lands flush on Max Holloway's chin, and from there Max just wasn't the same. He hunted Max down. Max was wobbled and Ilia Topuria found that left hook to drop him, which Max has never been dropped in his career up until this point, and just went to the ground and pound and finished Max Holloway, the first time he's ever been knocked out.
This, take a look at that. Clean, perfect rotation. That's what makes this kid special, John.
That was unbelievable, guys. We have just witnessed the birth of a superstar. We have just witnessed the birth of one of the newest faces of the UFC. To do that to Max Holloway after you know, not a tough first couple rounds, but he figured it out. And right before you guys nailed it, something happened to his oblique there. He got nailed, and it looked like, I don't know if there was like a welt in it, I don't know if there was a separation, and then it was almost like Ilia said, enough of this shit, and then brought it on him up against the cage, the body shots, the right, left. He has dynamite in his hands, reminiscent of some of the great strikers in the history of the sport. And then to sleep Max Holloway with one of the greatest chins in the history of this game, Ilia Topuria. And then what a celebration. Bows, drinks the tea. That is a gangster right there.
Gangster, dude.
Is this
one of the best fighters
Conor
in the world.
reminiscent? I know it's cliche, but this feels like Conor.
It's not just Conor. It's just, there's always a moment where a superstar is born, and he arrived when he beat Alex Volkanovski. He has emerged as a superstar.
Oh my God!
With this victory,
unbelievable.
Alexander Volkanovski wants a rematch. What do you want next? Turn around, Ilia.
I want to hug both of them. Swear to God. Right now, I don't want to fight with anyone. Right now, thank you very much, bro. You're the man, bro. He's the man. We're gonna do it again. You deserve that. You're the man. He defended his title 7 times. So I don't know how many times. If someone deserves it, it's him. So let's do it, bro.
The jab. Got to get the advertising for Moreno Albazian. No one.
He hurt him! Topuria hurt him! Max is firing back! Rips in the body! Topuria's got him in trouble! Max is off the fence!
How is this possible?
Max got hurt!
Oh, yeah.
Max got hurt!
Topuria!
Max is still in trouble!
Oh, my God!
Oh, my God!
Oh, he knocked him out! Ilia Topuria knocked him out! Oh, my God!
That's the best fighter in the world! That's the best fighter in the world! That's the fighter of the year!
Volk, don't fight him. Go to 55, Volk. Go to 155.
It's the best fighter in the world.
Oh my Lord. He did it.
That man
did it.
Talked a mountain of and just delivered.
No one has ever done that before. No one.
He put him down.
Ilia, I'd be curious to know if you feel like you have gotten under Max Holloway's skin in the lead up to this fight.
I never thought about that, to be honest, and I don't care. I will be in his skin on this Saturday. That's for sure.
Get ready for UFC 308 as Max Holloway takes on Ilia Topuria this Saturday in Abu Dhabi. The featherweight showdown has everyone buzzing, and we've got the pros' predictions lined up for you. Sean Strickland, known for his raw and unfiltered opinions, weighed in on the UFC 308 showdown between Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria. Despite the excitement around Topuria's rise, Strickland made it clear that his respect for Holloway runs deep.
I like Max, dude. He's a man, dude. You know, he's a legend, dude. He's gave us so many great fights that, you know, every time Max fights, I just pick Max.
Strickland's admiration for Holloway speaks to the former champion's legacy in the sport. Holloway has delivered countless memorable performances, and even in a tough matchup like this, Strickland backs him without hesitation. While Topuria has the momentum, fighters like Strickland believe that Holloway's heart, experience, and fighting spirit are still unmatched in the division. While on the other hand, confident and bold, Topuria isn't concerned about the mind games. He's focused on making his mark in the octagon this Saturday. Topuria said, "I don't care if I'm under his skin, I'll be in his skin Saturday." Topuria's statement shows just how fearless he is heading into this fight. He's not interested in verbal sparring or respect for past accomplishments. His only goal is to dominate Holloway inside the cage. As a rising star with explosive power and confidence, Topuria is determined to prove that the new wave of fighters is ready to take over the division. As UFC 308 approaches, former UFC featherweight champion Alexander Volkanovski shared his thoughts on the highly anticipated matchup between Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria. Volkanovski pointed out that Max Holloway's experience and strategic mind will play a big role in this fight, but he knows Holloway can't afford to make reckless decisions. Volkanovski said, "Love for Max to just point at the floor. You know, Ilia's got great hands, right? So he would love to just stay in a boxing range. That's where he has his chance of landing that big shot, even though Max has got an incredible chin." Volkanovski acknowledges Holloway's durability, but he emphasizes how dangerous Topuria is when it comes to standing toe-to-toe. With Topuria's punching power, standing in one spot and trading blows could spell disaster for Holloway, even with his legendary chin. He also noted, "But you know, I don't think Max is that silly. He knows that. I'm sure Max is looking at that like, yeah, you think you have to fight that way to beat me." Where Max is probably thinking, "I can beat you in many different ways." Holloway is known for his ability to adapt during fights, and Volkanovski believes Holloway is well aware of the risks involved in getting into a slugfest with Topuria. Yet Volkanovski hints that Holloway might still be tempted to engage in a brawl, especially if the fight drags into the later rounds. He further stated, "Max being Max, he's probably going to be winning and still do the same thing anyway, which would obviously play into Ilia's game. It wouldn't be a smart idea with someone like Ilia to just point at the ground and say, 'Let's just swing.'" Volkanovski expressed concern that Holloway's warrior mentality might lead him to fight Topuria's fight. He warns that playing into Topuria's strength could cost Holloway, especially given Topuria's knockout power.
You know, Ilia is obviously a powerful puncher. He loves his boxing, and again, you know, I think with myself, with Ilia, I always said that I feel like he's got a puncher's chance. That's how the only way I ever thought I would lose in the featherweight would be someone by puncher's chance. And you know, he's one of them. Obviously, he's got an incredible puncher's chance, right? Yeah. So yeah, and I think Max would know that, and I just think Max is probably going to not be that silly and just play into his game, even though that is Max's game. Unless he maybe when he wears him out a little bit, and later in later rounds when he gets him tired, gets a good read, maybe we'll do something like that, but earlier on, I don't think that'd be very clever.
Volkanovski's breakdown highlights the key danger for Holloway in this fight, Ilia Topuria's knockout power. With his hands and boxing skills, Topuria has a real chance to land a fight-ending blow, something Volkanovski admits could be Holloway's biggest threat. Holloway, known for engaging and wearing down opponents, will need to avoid playing into Topuria's strengths early on. Instead, Volkanovski suggests Holloway's best approach is to be patient, gradually read Topuria's movements, and look for openings as the fight progresses, saving the riskier exchanges for the later rounds when Topuria might be more fatigued. While he respects Topuria's abilities, Volkanovski made it clear where his prediction lies. Volkanovski said, "I think Ilia is a great fighter, but I'll probably pick Max in that one. I think, his chin's obviously held up that many times, and I think his boxing is going to be good enough. He will get hit, so Ilia will be testing that chin, but at the same time, I think Max Holloway, go the later rounds is just going to fade him. Volkanovski highlights one of Holloway's key strengths, his legendary durability. Despite Ilia Topuria's power, Volkanovski believes Holloway's chin has been tested enough to withstand the onslaught. More importantly, he points out Holloway's ability to outlast opponents, using his superior boxing and relentless pace to wear them down. In Volkanovski's view, while Topuria may land big shots early, Holloway's endurance and experience in deep waters will likely tip the fight in his favor as the rounds progress, where Topuria may start to fade. Max Holloway didn't hold back when asked about Ilia Topuria ahead of their UFC 308 clash. Known for his blunt honesty, Holloway expressed frustration, suggesting that Topuria hasn't truly earned the spotlight. In a sport where respect is gained through hard battles, Holloway feels Topuria is trying to ride a wave he doesn't deserve just yet. Max said, "At the end of the day, to me, I don't think he deserves it. You've got to earn that right. I don't think he deserves that right with him being, the guy that he's copycatting. This guy's a copycat, down to the tattoos, to his aura, to the way he's approaching fights. The guy's a copycat." Holloway's frustration seems to stem from what he sees as a lack of originality from Topuria, even comparing him to another fighter, hinting at Topuria's similarities to some of his peers. Holloway feels Topuria is mimicking others' styles and identities rather than building his own path in the sport. And for Holloway, earning a title shot or a fight with a legend comes with authenticity. Max also noted, "And you're best friends with the guy he's following. So at the end of the day, I think you've got to earn that moment. I believe he could have earned it with Josh Emmett. If you guys can go back to that fight and watch what happened when Josh was trying to swing, someone shot and someone held someone down for the rest of the fight. So I think the moment needs to be earned and he's just trying to steal stuff." Holloway highlighted Topuria's performance against Josh Emmett, emphasizing that when the moment came to truly prove himself in the fight, Topuria didn't rise to the occasion. Instead, Holloway feels that Topuria took a safer route, lacking the risk and fire that defines a true warrior in his eyes. Holloway believes that Topuria hasn't yet earned the right to step into the octagon with him, viewing him as a fighter more interested in borrowing from others than creating his own legacy. Ilia Topuria didn't stay quiet after hearing Max Holloway's comments about him being a copycat and not deserving the fight. The rising contender fired back, making it clear that he's not here to seek Holloway's approval. Confident in his abilities, Topuria promised to bring the fight to Holloway in his own way.
I never asked him if I deserve that or not. I will be pointing to the ground since the first second of the fight. If he wants to stay with me in the middle, it's okay, and prove that he's the real BMF. And if he decides to don't do that, it's okay too. I'm gonna find a different way to finish him and take his head off.
Topuria's response is a direct challenge to Holloway, daring him to engage in a stand-up war. He dismisses Holloway's accusations, showing no concern for whether or not Holloway thinks he's earned the fight. Instead, Topuria is focused on one thing, proving himself in the octagon by any means necessary. Whether Holloway meets him toe-to-toe or not, Topuria made it clear that his goal is simple, to knock Holloway out and cement his place as the new top contender in the division. Belal Muhammad, a fighter who understands the grind of earning a top spot, weighed in on Ilia Topuria's rise and the challenge ahead of him. He acknowledged Topuria's talent, but emphasized that earning a place among the division's elite requires more than just one big win. Belal said, "Earned it. Like even for myself when I say I want to fight Drakus or go up to middleweight, like I know what I have to do. I have to beat these next guys in line. You've had one fight against Volkanovski, he's going to have a rematch." Belal pointed out that while Topuria's fight against Volkanovski put him on the map, the division still has many hungry contenders. In his eyes, getting past Holloway is just the first step for Topuria before he can even consider a rematch with Volkanovski or face off against the likes of fighters like Movsar Evloev. Belal also stated, first you've got to get past Max, then you've got Volkanovski, then you've got Movsar right there, undefeated and looking great every single fight. So there are a lot of guys in your division you haven't beaten yet. Max has never been knocked down, never been knocked out before, and Max looked amazing in his last fight. So for myself, I think Max is gonna beat him, and then we won't hear much from him. I think he's gonna go quiet after that. Belal made it clear that he sees Holloway as a massive hurdle for Topuria. With Holloway's durability and recent strong performances, Muhammad doesn't believe Topuria will have an easy path ahead. In fact, Belal is convinced that a loss to Holloway Holloway could send Topuria back into obscurity, putting an end to the hype surrounding him, at least for now. Stephen Thompson gave his perspective on the upcoming fight between Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria, acknowledging that while Holloway has always been known for his durability and tactical approach, this fight presents a different kind of challenge. He emphasized the contrast in their fighting styles, highlighting how Topuria's power could be a game changer. Thompson said, "I think he's gonna go quiet after that. I think it's a tough fight for Max Holloway. The reason that is, Topuria is the type of guy, he's got that one-hitter quitter power, right? And Max Holloway, you know, he's got that power, but he mostly beats guys with volume. Like, he wears them down up until that point where he knocks them out." Thompson contrasted Topuria's knockout power with Holloway's methodical approach. He pointed out that Holloway typically overwhelms opponents with a high-volume striking style, exhausting them before going in for the finish. In fights like the one against Justin Gaethje, Holloway demonstrated his ability to outlast opponents in brutal exchanges, but Topuria's raw power could drastically alter the rhythm of this fight. Wonderboy further added, just like the fight with Justin Gaethje, they were beating each other up and then got caught. But Topuria's got that, man. He clips you just one time. It just takes one hit with that guy to put you to sleep. But I think Max Holloway is a very intelligent fighter, so I know he's got a game plan going into this. If he can touch him up and stay moving and prevent Topuria from sitting down on his punches, I think he's got a chance. Thompson's take on the fight is clear. While Topuria's knockout power poses a major threat, Holloway's experience and fight IQ could be the key to victory. If Holloway can stay elusive, disrupt Topuria's timing, and keep him from setting up his powerful punches, he has a good chance to outpoint Topuria and neutralize his biggest weapon. Steven remains optimistic that Holloway's strategic approach could guide him to victory, but the looming danger of Topuria's one-punch power keeps the fight unpredictable. As the anticipation built for the highly awaited showdown between Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria, Holloway took a moment to acknowledge the skills and journey of his opponent. While the rivalry intensifies, Holloway's respect for Topuria's capabilities is evident, shedding light on what makes this matchup compelling. Max noted in an interview, "I mean, he's an animal, he's good. You know, a lot of people forget that when he came into the UFC, he got brought in as a grappler and wrestler. That's what he was. And he came into the UFC, he started knocking dudes out. His boxing is nice." As a fighter, you cannot be a hater and say he's not good. You know, he's proven he did what he had to do when he had to do it to get to the position he has. So there's no disrespect to that, but you get to see me come Saturday night, so that should be fun. Holloway's comments highlight not only his respect for Topuria, but also his own confidence as a seasoned veteran. He recognizes Topuria's evolution from a grappler to a knockout artist, which has made him a dangerous opponent in the featherweight division. However, Holloway's assurance that fans will see the real Max on fight night underscores his readiness to showcase his skills. As both fighters prepare for battle, Holloway's history of overcoming challenges and his relentless work ethic become pivotal themes as he aims to defend his legacy against the rising star Topuria. Max Holloway, known as Blessed, has been a staple in the UFC since 2012, consistently showcasing his striking prowess and resilience in the octagon. After capturing the UFC Featherweight Championship in 2016, Holloway faced a tough setback when he lost his title to Alexander Volkanovski in 2019. Despite falling short in 2 subsequent rematches, many believed Holloway would struggle to reclaim his place at the top. However, demonstrating his indomitable spirit and skill, the Fighting Hawaiian has rebounded impressively, riding a 3-fight winning streak. As he prepares for his title fight against Ilia Topuria at UFC 308, Holloway looks more formidable than ever, ready to reclaim the championship glory he once held. As the excitement builds for the highly anticipated matchup between Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria at UFC 308, fighters from all corners of the MMA world are weighing in on their predictions. Among them is Diego Lopez, who shares his thoughts on the potential outcome of this clash.
I don't know, maybe Ilia's win and 1-2. Maybe go Spain. I mean speak Spanish. Is the promotion for UFC Spain is good.
Lopez's prediction reflects the unpredictability of the fight, highlighting the intrigue surrounding both fighters' skills and strategies. As the fight draws closer, the anticipation intensifies, with fans eager to see who will emerge victorious in this thrilling featherweight showdown. As the fight between Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria approaches, many fighters are sharing their insights on what to expect. Brian Ortega, a seasoned competitor in the featherweight division, weighs in on the matchup, highlighting the contrasting styles of both fighters.
surprised me obviously last time. So I learned very quickly not to say or go against him. Lesson learned. Max is another guy that you don't want to go against. Lesson learned.
Ortega's statement underscores the challenges of facing Holloway, emphasizing his reputation as a relentless and skilled fighter. Holloway's experience and tenacity make him a formidable opponent for anyone in the octagon. He continued, and then when you look at the styles, you have Topuria, who has more of a traditional boxer style. You have Max with his machine of punches, and then, you know, unorthodox boxing style, but it's very effective. Ortega's analysis points out the differences in their striking approaches, with Holloway's high volume punching contrasting against Topuria's traditional boxing foundation. This creates an intriguing dynamic as both fighters bring unique strengths to the bout. He added, he utilizes his range well from up and down and low and hooks and sides and steps and just angles and creativity and just amusement and entertainment as well with it. But then you also have the southern side of Topuria that hasn't been tested, right? I heard he's been wrestling since he was a kid, and I know that no one's actually even been able to take him to the ground, or he's been wanting to take anyone to the ground. Furthermore, Ortega stated, so who knows if he decides that, hey, I have a trick up my sleeve that you guys don't even know about? So there's just a lot of interesting questions that I have, and I'm honestly looking forward to watching this fight. Ortega elaborates on Holloway's boxing skills, praising his versatility and creativity. He also raises questions about Topuria's wrestling background, noting that while his grappling skills are largely untested in the UFC, they could play a crucial role in the fight. Ortega's anticipation for the matchup reflects the excitement and uncertainty surrounding this clash of styles, as fans and fighters alike are eager to see how it unfolds. As the anticipation for the fight between Ilia Topuria and Max Holloway builds, Topuria has made his intentions clear. The rising star is not only focused on the fight, but also on what it represents in the larger context of the division. Topuria said, for me personally, the opinion I have is that that belt was created for and because of George Masvidal. No one is a BMF, but if someone has to have it, I prefer to have it. His comments highlight his confidence and the weight he places on the BMF title, suggesting that he sees himself as a rightful contender who deserves to hold such a prestigious accolade. In addition to his championship aspirations, Topuria emphasized his readiness for the fight, stating, I'm ready not for 5 rounds, to be honest. I'm ready for 10 or 15 rounds, whatever he wants to do. I can do it, but I don't think that the fight will go the distance. I will finish him before that. This declaration showcases Topuria's conditioning and mental fortitude, indicating he has trained rigorously for this matchup. His prediction of an early finish reflects not only his confidence in his abilities, but also a desire to make a statement against a veteran like Holloway. With both fighters displaying their determination, fans can expect an explosive showdown at UFC 308. As we gear up for the epic clash between Max Holloway and Ilia Topuria at UFC 308, it's clear that both fighters are ready to leave it all in the octagon. Holloway's experience and fight IQ will be tested against Topuria's explosive power and fierce determination. With so much at stake, who do you think will emerge victorious? Will Holloway's resilience carry him through, or will Topuria's knockout ability prove too much? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.